Hello and welcome to your Black History Moment. Today we will be discussing the Tuskegee Airmen. The Tuskegee Airmen was a group of mostly African American military pilots and airmen who fought in World War II. During World War II, Black Americans in many United States were still subject to Jim Crow laws, and the American military was racially segregated. The pilots trained in Tuskegee, Alabama, and were educated at the Tuskegee Institute, now called Tuskegee University. They formed the 332nd Fighter Group and the 477th Bombardment Group of the United States Army Air Forces. The airmen became known as Red Tails because they painted the tails of their planes red. They were excellent pilots and earned many awards for their skill and bravery in battle. Before the Tuskegee Airmen, no African American had been a U.S. military pilot. On April 3, 1939, Congress passed the Appropriations Public Bill Law 18, which contained an amendment that said money should be set aside for the training of African American pilots. The War Department put the money into funds of schools that had civilian pilot training programs or were willing to train Black Americans. One of these schools was Tuskegee Institute. Testing was difficult and followed the same standards as other tests for pilots. The United States Army Air Corps tested to determine IQ, dexterity, and leadership qualities. They selected only the best pilots and navigators. When the program at Tuskegee was about 5 months old, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt inspected it on March 29, 1941. She flew with an African American chief civilian instructor, C. Alfred Chief Anderson. After landing, she cheerfully announced, "Well, you can fly all right." The 99th Pursuit Squadron, named the 99th Fighter Squadron in 1942, was formed in 1941, and pilots trained for duty. They were part of the 332nd Fighter Group, which originally included the 100th, 301st, and 302nd Fighter Squadrons. By April 1943, the 99th Fighter Squadron was considered ready for combat duty. They flew their first combat mission on June 2, 1943, to help prepare for the Allied invasion of Sicily. By February 1944, the 100th, 301st, and 302nd Fighter Squadrons had joined them. The 332nd Fighter Group flew missions in Sicily, Normandy, and Rhineland. They also did other missions. Their missions varied from escorting bomber planes to attacking enemy planes, trains, and ships. Pilots of the 99th once set a record for destroying 5 enemy aircraft in under 4 minutes. Pilots of the 332nd Fighter Group earned 96 Distinguished Flying Crosses. In all, 992 pilots were trained in Tuskegee from 1941 to 1946. 355 were deployed overseas and 84 lost their lives. The total included 68 pilots killed in action or accidents, 12 killed in training and non-combat missions, and 32 captured as prisoners of war. The Tuskegee Airmen were credited by higher commands with the following accomplishments. Here are some of their accomplishments. They received 3 Distinguished Unit Citations, at least 1 Silver Star, 96 Distinguished Flying Crosses to 95 airmen. Captain William A. Campbell was awarded 2 of the Distinguished Flying Crosses. They received 14 Bronze Stars, 744 Air Medals, and at least 60 Purple Hearts. In November of 1923, Colonel James Harvey III, 100-year-old Tuskegee Airman and America's first Top Gun pilot, was promoted to rank of full colonel. The Tuskegee Airmen experiment was a huge success. They assisted the United States in winning the war, and these men are the men who changed our nation.